Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the inaugural episode of our new show, Cuttin It Up with Mike and Dev. Dev, tell me what the show's a little bit about.
Yes, sir. So basically, we're a table talk podcast about sports. We're mainly going to go over basketball and football, but we might go over like baseball, hockey, if something like really crazy happens. But yeah, so we'd love to hear your opinions on stuff that we say. The whole point of this is like to bring discussions and opinions worldwide. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so as you guys may have known, NBA draft is Wednesday. I believe I don't know what today is. Today's the 16th. So Wednesday, November 17th. And depending on when you see this or not, the draft may have already happened. But it's a big time for NBA fans. I know us too. We are huge NBA fans, and that's kind of all I've ever known. So this is the most exciting time of year for me. So because the trade deadline, not deadline, but you're allowed to make trades now. Teams are able to do that stuff now, and there's a lot of stuff flying around, and there's a lot of stuff to cover. So the first one, I think the first trade that just kind of broke off was Chris Paul to the Phoenix Suns. He went to the Suns for Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Todd Jerome, Jalen LeCue, and a 2022 first-round pick. Who do you think won that trade, Ev?
I don't know. Chris Paul's kind of old. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a solid player.
But you saw what he did for OKC last year, though. They gave them I think it was ESPN, the crazy stat was like 0.2% or 0.25% to make the playoffs, and they were the 5th seed. So I think if you add Chris Paul to that young team, you saw what they did in the bubble.
Yeah.
They
They
were undefeated and still missed the playoffs. That's tough. So I think, adding Chris Paul to that big three, or making a big three of DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker.
Right.
I mean, you give up Oubre, but I mean, you're going to have to give somebody for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
You see Ricky Rubio's a little salty.
I would be too.
Rubio tweeted was like, oh, wow, what a business. He was a little upset.
Yeah.
He was upset. So I think for right now, you have at least 2 years with Chris Paul. So I think that ends up benefiting the Suns in a way because right now they're really young. They don't have any, like, a leader. Yeah. Devin Booker's our leader, and he's like 22, 23. So it's like.
Speaking of that, I wonder how that's going to go. Devin Booker going to have to shift roles from being a leader to, like, having Chris Paul probably take over a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, apparently the report's saying that he wanted him there.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he's okay with it, and everything should be good. All right, second one. This is a big one. I don't know how to feel about it. All right, Drew Holiday to the Bucks for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, and 5 first-round picks.
You lost with the 5 first-round picks. They sold the whole future.
Oh, no, but the last 2 picks are pick swaps, so they can just get swapped. But so it's pretty much 3 first-round picks for Drew Holiday. Don't get me wrong. I am a Drew Holiday, like...
He's very underrated.
I think Drew Holiday is a baller, man. He averaged almost 20 points a game last year. But the 5 first-round picks is like, that's Anthony Davis type package. I think they only got 4 for Davis. So it's like, I think if you're Milwaukee, though, I think it's one of those situations where you do what you have to do in order to keep Giannis there.
Right.
Because if you guys make that trade and Giannis leaves, it's wraps. You have nothing left. So I think, you do what you can to keep Giannis there. Mm-hmm. Because they also made a second trade. They brought him, not Bogdan Bogdanovic for Dante DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson. Ilyasova and Wilson, I think they're expandable.
Yeah.
Dante DiVincenzo was good. I liked him. But now you don't really have a point guard on the team. Because he was your backup, and then Eric Bledsoe was your starter, and George Hill was your other point guard.
Grant Hill.
George Hill.
Who's George Hill?
Grant Hill retired a long time ago, bud.
I'm going to go. I got to go.
Yeah, so I think the Bucks won the trade. If Giannis stays, I think the Bucks made a good decision. They do everything they can. Because remember they did that whole meeting with Giannis for like 3 hours, and they were like, Giannis was like, look, if you don't give me pieces or anything, I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. So he has until December 20th, 21st, something like that, to sign his 5-year supermax, like a 5-year, $200-something million deal.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't sign, they're in trouble.
This sign's going to the Heat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So right now you have Giannis, Middleton. I think the starting 5 for Milwaukee looks really good, and that's why I like the trade for them right now. It's starting 5's looking like Holiday, Bogdan, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and if they keep Brook Lopez, that'd be huge. I think that's a good starting 5. So I don't mind Milwaukee doing it. I respect it because, you're doing everything you can to keep your star player there.
Right.
In Milwaukee, they're not going to get any free agents. So you kind of have to draft and you hit the goal line. So you have to do everything you can. All right. Might be the biggest news, though. The other ones were big. But might be the biggest news. James Harden demands a trade, and he wants out of Houston.
Man.
They said that Philadelphia and Brooklyn are his two destinations he wants. And apparently he's pushing – the reports came out that he is pushing the Rockets to send him to Brooklyn.
I can see that happening. I see that happening.
He said that he doesn't care if the Rockets could get more somewhere else. He wants to go to Brooklyn, and he feels like they should do right by him, since he gave all them years to the franchise. I mean, he didn't do anything. You won a few MVPs, I guess, but
yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think about that?
So personally, I don't know. I feel like he probably will end up going to Brooklyn for sure, but I don't know how it's gonna go because that's a lot of ego on one team.
I don't think it works.
Yeah,
Especially
it sounds good on paper, but
yeah, on paper it's unstoppable. But Kevin Durant, I'm not worried about Kevin Durant. He doesn't need the ball. He went to Golden State, played with Steph and Clay. He doesn't need the ball.
It's just Kyrie.
But Kyrie,
I want to be the star player.
yeah, I know. If you got shout out RDC World, but he hasn't. Kyrie does not want to give up the ball. I saw this thing on Twitter. It was like he wanted to leave LeBron to become Batman. He's gonna end up becoming Alfred the Butler. So, you know, it is what it is. As a Knicks fan, I hate Brooklyn. I can't, but I don't think it'll work. But apparently the reports came out that Brooklyn wants either KD or Kyrie, which they're not gonna get either one.
No,
No.
Not happening.
It's crazy because also I forgot James Harden. He turned down a 2-year, $105 million extension, so he'd be the first player to be making $50 million a year, and he turned it down. He's like, I don't want to be here. I'm like, that's tough because the Rockets have a new coach. His name is James Silas, I believe. And his first year there, Westbrook wants out, Harden wants out. You don't have a center on your team.
Right, and now he's gonna look trash.
Yeah, he's gonna lose his job. That's tough.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I know. And then some other breaking news, or not really breaking, it's developing, I guess you could call it. The Hornets emerge as the front runner to get Russell Westbrook. I'm just glad my Knicks aren't going to get him. Apparently Michael Jordan wants him there really bad, and he'll do whatever he can to get him there. So that's kind of the whole deal going on. It's not anything big. I just kind of thought I'd throw it out there. So
I don't know. I like obviously Russell Westbrook's a really good player, but he just needs the ball way too much to be like.
That's why I don't think you can put him with another star. That's why KD left.
Right. I don't see him winning any championships. I'm sorry, but
Russ, I respect you, but
like I love him, but he just doesn't. He's not a championship type player.
I don't believe so. I don't think Harden is either.
Yeah, me neither.
Harden doesn't. I think the way he plays. I mean, he averaged 36 a game, but the way he plays is kind of why Carmelo got criticized his whole career. He sits there with the ball, wastes the whole shot clock,
and then he forces a pass or shoots. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but the main part of the whole show, we got to talk about that a little bit. But the main part of the whole show is this NBA draft we got tomorrow night. It's the most exciting part of the year. I think drafts are very fun to keep up with, a lot of drama. So we figured we'd kind of bring a lot of the drama onto the show.
Right.
So the way we're gonna do it is, I have so right here on my paper. That's why I keep looking over. I have ESPN's mock drafts written up. ESPN had a mock draft that came out a few days ago. They went on ESPN with Kendrick Perkins, Jay Billis, and forgive me, but I don't know who the host was of ESPN. And they did a mock draft, and this is their official mock draft that just came out. Now I'm gonna read off one at a time. We're each gonna say who we would pick, and why we would pick that or whatever, and then we read off who ESPN, the experts, have them taking. The experts obviously have more insight than we do.
Way more.
But we're gonna say what would make more sense for the team according to us.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So number one pick. Are we gonna do ESPN draft first, or are we gonna do your draft first? We'll do ours first.
Okay, we'll do ours first. All
right, number one. Who do you have the Minnesota Timberwolves taking?
The Timberwolves taking LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. I see. Why say that?
Because you see, like, and it's like with the Zion thing. It's like, how could you pass up on him? Yes, so much footage of him playing, and there's so much potential. All he needs to really work on is his shot selection, and I think he'll be very solid because he has the IQ of a natural-born guard.
Yeah, I mean, you see his brother. He's been playing ball with his brother's friends and all that stuff since he was like 14, 13 years old, so it's like...
And he played EuroLeague and had really good stats
Right.
overseas.
Now, the only concern is that he did shoot like 25% from three.
Right, and he needs to work on his defense.
He has no defense whatsoever.
But he could touch up on that potentially if he keeps working.
I mean, he's 6'8". He's a 6'8" point guard. Like, there's room for potential. So I don't think the LaMelo Ball pick makes sense. I think Anthony Edwards is the way better option. I say that because if you draft LaMelo Ball, what does that mean for D'Angelo Russell? D'Angelo Russell and LaMelo Ball play the same.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't not really play defense.
Mm-hmm.
Need ball in their hands, and their scores. But D'Angelo, I don't think D'Angelo could play off the ball really well.
Mm-hmm.
He tried in Golden State, it didn't work.
Right.
So I think the most logical pick would be Anthony Edwards. He's a 2 or 3, he's 6'6", 215, whatever. And he's just an athlete, man. He's just a freak. I mean, with Karl Towns, D'Angelo Russell up there, and they drafted Jarrett Culver as a small forward last year. So just draft Edwards and put him at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd be straight, and I think that would work really well for them.
Okay.
Now, ESPN actually has Minnesota taking LaMelo.
Right.
They think LaMelo is the number 1 overall pick. They think he's the best prospect in the draft. A lot, or some do. Because this draft is pretty weird. There's not like a clear-cut number 1 pick. Like with Zion, like, he's number 1.
It was without a doubt.
Like, like every draft usually has like a guy that's like, okay, he's going to be number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, it can kind of go either way. All right, so number 2, the Golden State Warriors. Who have the Warriors taken?
I have the Warriors taking James Wiseman.
I feel like that'd be the only logical pick. That's what I picked.
Yeah.
I think it's the only logical thing. They don't need a guard. They don't need a point guard because they got Steph and Clay coming back next year. They still have Wiggins if they're not going to deal him. I do think the number 2 pick is going to be in trade talks. They might not keep it, but as of right now, if they were to keep it, I think Wiseman would be the move.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they're missing.
They just need a solid big man.
That's all they need. And Wiseman can stretch the floor. He can shoot. He averaged 19 a game. I mean, granted, he only played a few games in college.
Yeah.
But he played very well, and he just has the body of an NBA guy, dude. He reminds me more of like a Chris Bosh. He can spread the floor, and he's more of a better rim protector than Chris Bosh was.
Mm-hmm.
He's like He's a 7'1". Yeah, and I mean he can space the floor and can run the floor. It's all Golden State does. So if you draft Wiseman with Steph, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins coming back, I think because people forgot the Warriors are just going to be right back to where they were next year.
Right.
So I think Wiseman would be a great step for them in the right direction. And ESPN also has Wiseman going number 2.
Okay.
All right, number 3 to Charlotte. Who you got?
For Charlotte, I've got Anthony Edwards going to Charlotte.
Edwards. Yeah, I mean, I could see it because if LaMelo and Wiseman go number 1 or 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
Edwards is the only prospect that would even make sense.
Right.
He's the best. Like Jay Billis was on ESPN saying that he's the number 1 overall prospect in the entire draft.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what a lot of people are thinking here. That's where I actually have LaMelo Ball going as number 3.
Number 3. Yeah.
Because like I said, personally, I think LaMelo to Minnesota don't make sense. Wiseman to Golden State is the only thing that makes sense.
Right.
So I feel like LaMelo to Charlotte, they get not if they don't trade for Westbrook.
Right.
If they trade for Westbrook, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't know what their plan is, but we all know Michael Jordan is a terrible owner, manager, whatever. He's awful. So I don't really know what he plans on doing.
Honestly, they don't need Russell. They should just wait and get.
Just rebuild because they got Devontae Graham. Because there's going to be some people like, oh, well, why would you draft LaMelo at a point guard? Because he's not a small forward, he's not a shooting guard. He's 6'8", but he's a point guard. So people are like, oh, well, they have Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier. Well, if you watch Charlotte's game last year, they actually put Devontae Graham. He's better at the 2. He's a small 2, but he's a lot better off the ball. He's just a sniper is what he is, man.
Right.
So I feel like putting LaMelo at the 1, Devontae Graham at the 2. You still got Bridges. You build off that young core and you just keep building and building off the draft. That's what I would do. So I have LaMelo going 3. ESPN has Anthony Edwards going 3 to Charlotte. And, you can't really go wrong with these picks. There's not, like I said, not a clear-cut star player in this draft.
Right.
So it's kind of based off what your team needs. Number 4, who do you have Chicago Bulls taking?
All right, so originally I had Opie Toppin going to the Bulls, but I'm starting to think the Bulls might pick up Denny.
Denny Avdia?
From
not Avdia. Avdia.
Avdia, yeah.
I always thought it was Avdija.
Because he's got a lot of experience in the EuroLeague, and I feel like seeing what Luka Doncic is doing, they're going to take more chances on EuroLeague players. So I feel like he might go number 4.
That's who I want my Knicks to take, but we obviously got screwed and we're number 8.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to fall that low. But
No, he won't. Denny Avdia, he looks like a baller, man. He's a 6'8", But what's up? I don't know what's up with these little European, like 6'8", point forward type guys.
Yeah.
But he's 6'8", can handle the ball, and he held his own. I think Chicago ends up taking Denny. I don't think you go with Obi Toppin because you have Wendell Carter and you have Larry Markkinen still.
Right.
Two solid young big guys. I don't think they're not bringing Chris Dunn back, so they need a point guard. So have Zach LaVine if you're not trading them, and they have their coach. Their new coach is Billy Donovan from the Thunder, Coach of the Year candidate. So I think it's gonna be really exciting in Chicago for Chicago fans. Just be patient, you guys. I know how it feels.
I know all about patience.
Oh yeah, he's a Wizards fan. For you guys that don't know us, I'm a Knicks fan. He's a Wizards fan, so it's a lot of pain.
It's more pain on my end.
Yeah, and ESPN also has the Bulls taking Denny Avdia. I'm sorry. All right, number 5, Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a terrible. If you get drafted to Cleveland, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's basically like.
That's where people go to die, pretty much.
Yeah, basically, you said it pretty much.
All right, so who do you have Cleveland taking?
So now I don't know anymore because now that I'm looking back over this, I think I've made some errors, but I'll probably say Obi Toppin to the Cavs.
That's what I have going on.
Because they don't have a solid big man.
I mean, because like they have Drummond, but Drummond's not playing the 4.
Right.
I think Obi Toppin in the NBA does end up being a 4. I have Obi Toppin going to the Cavs. I think it just makes sense. You have Colin Sexton, Darius Garland. You have those 2 guys at guards. You don't really have a wing, but Obi Toppin can play 4 of the 3. So, if you go out and try to get yourself a little small forward in free agency or something like that, I think the Cavs start to build something a little bit.
Right.
I mean, it's still the Cavs, so I'm not expecting much, but I think Obi Toppin is the right move for them.
Sounds good.
That's what I'm thinking. And ESPN also has Obi Toppin going to Cleveland. I dropped my pen.
Nice.
All right, number 6. Who do you have the Atlanta Hawks taking?
All right, so I got the Hawks taking Tyrese Halliburton, and that's because I think he'll play well with Trae Young being a shooter.
Point guard out Iowa State?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But yeah, I think he'll do pretty well. He's a pretty good playmaker. I think he'll play really well with them. I think he'll fit in perfectly.
There's a lot of mock drafts that have Tyrese Halliburton going to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see the point of Atlanta. I have the Hawks taking Isaac Okoro from Auburn. He's pretty much what they need. They have Cam Reddish at small forward. They got Trey, got John Collins.
Mm-hmm.
They still have Clint Capella.
Okay.
So I think Isaac Okoro, just out of the 2, 6'6",
Mm-hmm.
freak athlete.
Oh, isn't he the defender, right?
Yeah,
he's a good defensive.
Yeah, he's very good defensively, and he's a good 3-point shooter. So I think it fits. I mean, Halliburton makes sense too.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, Halliburton's a very good playmaker, and with the ball in his hands, he can do a lot better than what he did off the ball.
Right.
So I think Trae Young being there, Trae Young's not playing off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it makes more sense for Okoro, but I think you couldn't go wrong either way. I don't like Halliburton. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not against the guy. I don't want the Knicks to take him.
Oh no, I just like his confidence.
Yeah.
Because he was doing flashy stuff in college.
Yeah.
Had the confidence to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right, number 7. Or if I didn't mention, Hawks, ESPN also has Isaac Okoro going to Hawks.
Okay.
All right, number 7. Who do you have? The Detroit Pistons taking.
I have the Pistons taking Isaac Okoro.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I feel like his defense would do really well there. They lost Drummond, so they don't have as much of a defensive presence. So I feel like Isaac would make a really good fit there.
All right, and this is where I have the Pistons taking Tyrese Halliburton. I think Derrick Rose ends up getting traded this year. I think because I know you guys have heard the rumors about the Lakers, D Rose, and I think D Rose ends up getting traded. I think Halliburton. They need a point guard now. They lost Reggie Jackson. They're gonna lose Derrick Rose. I think Halliburton's the guy you come and bring in. He's a tall point guard.
Right.
He can get in there. He has a beautiful stroke. He can pause. But he can shoot, man. He can play make, and I think that's the guy you want over there. Detroit doesn't have a lot to work with,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess they have a washed up Blake.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I feel like Blake's been putting in work.
I like
he had
Blake
his career
Griffin.
high, didn't he?
I like Blake Griffin. He plays in Detroit, so you don't really hear about him anymore.
Yeah.
And the Pistons in the ESPN mock draft has a guy that's been gaining a lot of steam lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have him in the top 10, but his name's Patrick Williams from Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
He's a forward, tall defensive guy,
Okay.
and he'll lock you up, dude. But I don't have him in the top 10. No disrespect to the guy, but
Me neither.
all right, number 8, New York Knicks. Who do you have the Knicks taking?
So I believe the Knicks are going to take a chance on Killian Hayes, which is the other EuroLeague player that's been getting a lot of steam.
From France.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. People are calling him Baby James Harden. I don't see it when I watch him. I see more of like a D'Angelo Russell type guy. I love Killian Hayes. If I was the GM of the Knicks, that's the one guy who I want in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
We're really high on Obi Toppin and Tyrese Halliburton. And no, those are the two guys I don't want in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Killian Hayes is a prospect that you have to take a chance on.
Right.
He doesn't have a right hand at all. I know that much. But it's something you can develop in the draft or develop in the league and all that stuff.
Right.
So I had the Knicks taking Killian Hayes. I don't think he goes to the Knicks. The report's saying the Knicks don't even want a point guard in the draft. So I'm wondering what we even have going up our sleeve right now.
Right.
Unless we just have Frank Ntilikina. I'd be okay with that.
So Frank.
The Knicks and the ESPN mock draft, they have him taking Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay.
So they have him falling to 8. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be mad at it, but it's not my top pick. Number 9, your beloved Washington Wizards. Who do you have them taking?
All right, so the Wizards, and I'm excited to say this. I think we're going to pick up, let me make sure I say this right. I believe we're going to pick up Onyeka. What's his last name?
Okonkwo?
Okonkwo, yeah.
USC.
And, yeah, for those who don't know, he played on Chino Hills with Lonzo and LaMelo back in that little era when they were going crazy. So he's very versatile. He's a center. He's really undermatched in terms of size, but he makes up with it with his versatility.
He's like a Bam Adebayo type.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And since we already have Rui, my man Rui, I feel like him and hopefully John Wall, if he decides to actually play, that would be amazing. I feel like they would have a really good, solid starting lineup.
Yeah, if you don't trade Bradley Beal away.
But that's if John Wall stays.
If John Wall stays and he's healthy, I think Bradley Beal stays.
Yeah.
So like I said, you have Wall, Beal, you'd have Okonkwo, and you'd have Rui Hachimura.
Right.
I think it's a solid little core for you guys to build off of. I also have them taking Okonkwo, and ESPN also does too. So I think that's pretty much like the locked-in pick for them.
Yeah.
That would make the most sense, at least.
Right.
All right, so we have number 10, the new-look Phoenix Suns. Who do you have them taking?
So I have them taking Sadiq Bey.
He's gaining a lot of teams from Vandy, I think, right?
Villanova, I think. Right?
I think he's from Vandy.
Is he from Vandy?
I don't know. It might be. We could both be wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could be.
I know who the guy is though.
But yeah, I think he'd play well with Devin Booker, assuming him and Chris Paul, if that all works out.
He's another 3-and-D guy. I think he's been rising to the top of draft boards a lot too. He's just a shooter, man.
Right.
Shooter, 3-and-D guy that you love to have. The Suns have a few of those, like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the direction they like to go.
Right.
So I think the pick makes sense. I had them taking a guy also getting a lot of steam, Devin Vassell from Florida State.
Okay.
Same thing. Shooter, defense. I think he's just better than Sadiq Bey is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who I have them taking. And Phoenix also has, or the ESPN mock draft, they have Phoenix taking Devin Vassell also.
Okay.
So yeah, those are our top 10. There's a few guys we left out the top 10 I think that could be good, like Tyrese Maxey. Killian Hayes actually have Killian Hayes falling like 12, 13.
Oh, really?
Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony, yeah.
I forgot about Cole Anthony. They actually have him going like 18 or 19.
I'm going to tell you something that everyone's been sleeping on right now. RJ Hampton.
Everyone kind of forgot about RJ. Whenever we skipped college, go to the overseas.
Right.
Everyone just kind of forgot about him.
But yeah, I've been keeping up with him. He's been playing very solid.
Yeah,
very
so
solid.
I think, this, like I said, this draft is going to be a matter of who's the better GM.
Right.
This is where the GMs are going to shine because you don't really, there's not like, this is not a star-studded draft, so you're going to have to improvise and do something else like that. And yeah, I think this NBA season is going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot for us to talk about. We're going to be after the drafts. We'll talk about the draft. I'm sure there's going to be some draft day surprises. I'm sure there's going to be some more trades going on. We'll definitely be back talking about a lot of this stuff, though. It would just be greatly appreciated if you guys, the usual, hit the subscribe button, comment, turn on the notification bell. We're going to try to be as active as we can with you guys. We just kind of need your support. And if you have, like Devin said earlier, if you have any debates or anything, debates or anything to say about what we have to say, comment. Feel free to do anything. We'll comment back. We'll talk about it. Like you said, it's kind of what we love to do. That's all I've ever done and known. So I think that kind of wraps up our mock draft for the day.
Yeah. Can I do the outro?
You can do the outro. I was gonna say one last thing. I don't know what he's going to do, but like I said, content's going to get better. I promise, guys, content's going to get better. It's going to get faster. It's going to be more entertaining. First episode, get all the jitters out and all that stuff. But I promise you guys, just stick with us with the long haul, and it'll be worth it. Dev, oh God.
Alright, so this is Cutting It Up with Mike and Dev. Knicks are trash. Redskins are winning Super Bowl next year, and we're out.
There is no Redskins, pal.
Football team, same thing.